It's really easy to make buttonholes with your sewing machine. You just need a few things. First of all, your button, of course. From your accessories, you'll want to get your buttonhole foot and your seam ripper. But you'll also need a small pin, a ruler, and a fabric marking pen or pencil. Buttonhole stitches are quite dense, and so by using an interfacing or stabilizer, it'll help prevent the stitches from puckering your fabric. Take your button and place it on the fabric where you want to make the buttonhole. You're going to draw a small line where you want the bottom of the buttonhole to be, and then use a small ruler to mark the center. Now we're ready to put the buttonhole foot on the machine. And just before we place the buttonhole foot on the machine, we need to place the button in the buttonhole foot. There's a slider here that opens out, and you can set your button in place on the back of the foot and close the slider. And this is what helps tell the machine how big to make the buttonhole for your button. First, we need to take the foot off that's on the machine right now. We're going to press the presser foot release lever and remove the foot. And we're going to line up the presser foot pin of the buttonhole foot with the front part of the presser foot holder. And line that up and lower the presser foot holder so it clicks into place. It's also a good idea to bring your upper thread through the hole of the buttonhole foot. This will make stitching the buttonhole a lot easier. Now that our buttonhole foot is on the machine, we'll set the machine for buttonhole sewing. We'll turn the stitch selector dial so that it lines up the dot marking on the machine. Your stitch length dial is going to get set somewhere within the range of the buttonhole icon on the dial. I've got it set for a fairly dense stitch, so it's down near the lower end of the buttonhole icon here. And then your stitch width, probably want to put it at about a 6. You can make it a little bit narrower, but for this fabric, I'm going to leave it at a 6. Now let's place the fabric under the foot. Here's the sideways line I drew and the vertical line I drew. So the sideways line I want to see through the hole in the opening of the foot, and this vertical line will be in the center. So just come inside from the side and line that up. And then make sure your threads are off to the side, lower the presser foot lifter, and then there's one more thing we have to do, and that's to pull down the buttonhole lever. And that's right here, kind of behind the lever for the needle threader. It's in the back, and you want to pull it all the way down until you feel it click. And then you also want to push it back. And now we can step on the foot control and sew a buttonhole. And then just stop sewing when you get to the beginning of the buttonhole, raise the needle out of the fabric, and there's your beautiful one-step buttonhole. The thread tails you can just put into a hand sewing needle and bring to the back side of the fabric and knot them to secure. Then to cut the buttonhole open, place a pin at the end, and then use your seam ripper to carefully cut the buttonhole open. Remove the pin, and there you have a beautiful buttonhole for your button. The stitch width on this one was set at 6. If you like your buttonhole to look a little more delicate, you could try sewing it with a little bit narrower width, like maybe a 3 or 4, and get a narrower look to the buttonhole if your fabric is a little more delicate. If you'd like more information about your machine, just check out the Singer manual, which is available to view or download anytime on the Singer website.